It's called Beyond KFC. It's all plant-based, soy protein, and you gotta taste this. Just try it.
Here are more 10 KFC foods you probably haven't tried. Why? Well, because KFC serves up a ton of delicious options overseas that you had no idea even existed. Until now.
I'll tell you everything you wish to know.
Wingseed.
What for the what are you even talking about right now?
We all have our fast food favorites that we can never get enough of, whether it be burgers, french fries, or even chicken nuggets. In Thailand, it's the Wingseed, and one of the best Wingseed recipes offered is from KFC. In fact, if you visit a KFC there, chances are the majority of people will be eating these particular wings. Why? Well, because they're just so amazing, that's why. Wingseed is basically fried chicken wings, which are spiced and then immersed in lime juice. The lime juice seems to help enhance the unique KFC taste. To go along with the wings, you can get the shrimp donut as a side, which is a donut-shaped piece of shrimp that is breaded and fried. And for dessert, you can pair it with an egg tart, a crispy egg pie with a custard filling that goes perfectly with the Wingseed. If you're a fan of chicken wings and you like the tangy taste of lime, your next stop on your travel list should probably be Thailand, as you'll get to try some of the best fast food wings ever.
Remember the marshmallows in Thailand?
KFC shrimp stars and fish donuts.
The what now?
If you go to a KFC restaurant in Asia, fried chicken isn't the only thing you'll find on the menu. Back in 2012, KFC Singapore branches began offering some very magical items: shrimp stars and fish donuts. While they do sound like something right out of a fairy tale, they are pretty straightforward. The shrimp stars are simply shrimp nuggets in the shape of stars, breaded and deep fried, while the fish donuts are fish patties in the shape of donuts, which are also breaded and deep fried. Simple as that. It's not exactly the most complex recipe in the world, but in terms of taste, apparently they're pretty well worth it.
That's actually interesting.
The two items are also available as a Snackers combo, so you can enjoy both of them together. They're basically just fast food nuggets, just presented in a little fancier manner. Kind of like what you would get as a kid as a school cafeteria lunch. But still, maybe these fried seafood options aren't really missing from our American menu, seeing as we're perfectly happy with our good old chicken nuggets, but maybe KFC will eventually reshape its popcorn chicken to make it look a little more festive. Who knows?
We'll see about that.
KFC chocolate hazelnut fries.
What did you say?
When you think about condiments to go with your fries, the debate is usually between ketchup or mayo, or maybe for some, a mix of both. However, one sauce that is probably never on the top of your mind when ordering your fries is chocolate. And yet, this KFC went all in and did it anyway. For this item, we must return to the ultimate home of weird and special KFC items, Singapore. In an attempt to always keep things interesting, in 2018, KFC introduced the chocolate hazelnut fries. This item is pretty self-explanatory. It's fries covered in a drizzle of chocolate hazelnut sauce. Only available in 10 locations while supplies lasted, these choconut fries were the perfect mix of crispy and creamy. It was basically an award-winning combination of sweet and salty.
Me likey.
But if people weren't lucky enough to get their hands on these chocolatey fries, they could always get the chain's chocolate hazelnut egg tarts. They were released at the same time and made with the same exact rich hazelnut spread. If you feel like this is something you really want to try, it's actually pretty easy to recreate. Just get some fries and some chocolate hazelnut spread, and it'll be just as if you were at KFC.
Awesome!
KFC gravy mashies.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
What could be better than mashed potatoes from KFC? Let's just say that gravy mashies just might be that item. First released in Australian KFCs in 2009, gravy mashies are probably what every mashed potato fan didn't know they needed. A more portable, bite-sized version of mashed potatoes filled with a splash of KFC gravy, all breaded and then deep fried. Basically, little balls of fried goodness. Mashies quickly exploded in popularity, but they were discontinued.
What?
People from the land down under did not let them go without a fight. The people had spoken, so KFC listened. Thanks to petitions, a lot of begging, and a cult-like following, in 2017, they were finally back. This time, KFC went big and rolled out Mashies in over 600 locations all across Australia. And while the website did warn people that they were not everywhere and not forever, it still came as a shock when KFC announced they were being discontinued once again. The crunchy on the outside, gravy on the inside balls of mashed potato have not been seen since then, but it's easy to assume how this concept would drive people in America just as crazy.
Good luck with that.
KFC Truffle Parmesan Chicken.
That sounds expensive.
If you go to KFC in America, you probably won't find anything too fancy on the menu. It's closer to a traditional fast food joint than a five-star restaurant. But hey, that's why we love it. However, if you go to Singapore, things are, for the most part, a little bit different.
Just a little bit. I can't stress the littleness of it enough.
For instance, you might come across menu items made with truffle oil, like the Truffle Parmesan Chicken. Released to celebrate Chinese New Year in 2019, the Truffle Parmesan Chicken is a twist on the traditional fried chicken recipe and includes pieces of fried chicken covered in a truffle-infused cheese sauce and shredded Parmesan cheese. The recipe was apparently an attempt by KFC to draw in younger crowds, and they wanted to give them something premium to enjoy during the Chinese New Year. The idea to use truffle oil was inspired by local hipster cafes in Singapore. These cafes frequently serve truffle fries and pasta that everyone loves. The only bummer with this otherwise delicious offering is that instead of being drizzled with truffle oil, it's usually drowned in it. But if that's what you're into and you've got a big pile of napkins nearby, it shouldn't be a problem. This deliciously untraditional chicken sounds like the kind of fancy items our local KFC could use.
Just think about it.
KFC Big Boss.
I'm the boss.
Needless to say, KFC makes some mean fried chicken. It's what they do best. And in the United States, we've been more than content with that. However, if you head north for a visit to Canada, then you might just witness fast food fusion at its best, the KFC Big Boss, a fried chicken version of the beloved Big Mac. No one ever thought that someone would dare try to compete with the Big Mac, and yet, in 2014, KFC Canada did it and did it well. The Big Boss is almost identical to the Big Mac. It's a double-stacked sandwich topped with lettuce, pickles, cheese, along with some special signature sauce.
Very, very interesting.
The only major difference? Instead of beef, it's made with KFC's patented fried chicken. And at KFC Canada outlets, they serve it with French fries, making the connection very clear between the two delicious burgers. While yes, of course, the sauce is different, anyone could attest how similar the Big Boss is to the Big Mac. It even has a sesame seed bun, for crying out loud. Despite these shocking resemblances, KFC still denies any claim that the Big Boss was a copycat. Either way, the Big Boss sounds like an amazing fried chicken sandwich, and chances are you've never had one that was this tasty before.
Right.
KFC Golden Wrapped Chicken.
We don't have that in America.
KFC is obviously all about fried chicken, but if you go to Malaysia, chances are you're going to come across something a little different: paper-wrapped chicken. Yes, it might sound weird to have your chicken wrapped in paper while it's being cooked. However, it's a very common Chinese dish and a very old cooking style that has yet to make its way into our Western kitchen. Paper-wrapped chicken consists of marinating the chicken in sauce and spices before wrapping it in paper or tinfoil and deep frying it, or in the case of KFC, baking it. This technique helps to keep all of the meat's juices inside, making the chicken far juicier than the paperless kind.
Delicious.
The secret of this delicious recipe all comes down to the marinade. Once the chicken is cooked, the marinade becomes caramelized, giving it all kinds of extra added flavor. KFC's golden wrapped chicken is well marinated and gives off strong hints of black pepper, along with a minor trace of mushroom flavor. The chicken is served with a side of corn, which adds a little bit of sweetness to the dish. It usually comes and goes from the menu in accordance with Chinese New Year promotions. There are some subtle changes in taste from time to time, time, such as the New Orleans flavor, a blend of Southern American herbs and spices. No matter which version you get, it's guaranteed to make your taste buds do a little dance.
You think it's that good?
KFC breakfasts.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Usually KFC isn't the #1 spot you think of when you want to get some breakfast. Unless you have some very specific fried chicken cravings early in the morning, it probably won't be your first stop. However, back in Singapore, it's a different story. KFC suggests that you wake up to the call of the chicken and enjoy an array of breakfast items that we would never dream of finding at our local KFC. You can order anything you want before 10:45 a.m., from breakfast plates to burritos. In an original recipe platter, you'll find fried chicken with classic breakfast sides like scrambled eggs, hash browns, and a bun. You'll also find KFC's original recipe porridge that's cooked with crispy shallots, spring onion, and chunks of fried chicken.
Interesting. Weird.
If you're more the kind who likes their breakfast on the go, you can get the original recipe Twister, which is basically a breakfast burrito made with fried chicken, or the American Twister, which is similar but with turkey bacon and hash browns. If a sandwich sounds better, the Riser, a chicken filet burger topped with whole egg and a slice of cheese, or the Brekkie with turkey bacon and egg, sliced tomato and cheese, are both delicious options. Oh, and there are even pancakes. So what's stopping KFC from getting in on the breakfast game here, too?
I don't know. Nothing, I guess.
KFC Double Down Dog.
My hot dog!
Everyone has heard about the Double Down. You know, that so-called sandwich made of bacon and cheese trapped between 2 fried chicken fillets that KFC released about 10 years ago. It was a huge hit, and people are still going nuts over it online. Something that, over the top, had never been done before, and it was a success. So KFC saw the opportunity and decided to shake things up yet again. At least KFC in the Philippines did. In 2015, they came out with the Double Down Dog, a hot dog wrapped in a fried chicken breast bun topped with either ketchup, mayo, or cheese. It was a love at first bite for most people, but others thought KFC was pushing their luck with this one. While its predecessor was beloved by all, this particular version, not so much. Sure, it looked kind of appetizing, but the taste was not, let's just say, consistently good.
Yeah, that's the reason.
But the Philippines weren't the only ones who took part in the Double Down craze. In South Korea, they added a beef patty in between the fried chicken to come up with the Zinger Double Down King. It basically looked like an entire bacon cheeseburger, but with fried chicken buns. No matter what kind of Double Down you remember, it's still one of the craziest and greasiest menu items KFC has ever offered, and it could very much make a comeback anytime.
I wouldn't mind.
KFC Nacho Cheese Crunch.
That's Nacho Burger.
I got it. There's a nacho in it.
Nachos are one of the best appetizers you can get to go along with any type of burger. But what would you say if you could combine the two and make one out-of-this-world item? Well, KFC did it, and yes, it's just as good as it sounds. Sure, you might have put some chips in your sandwich before to add some crunch, so by extension, you think you know what a nacho burger would taste like, but we assure you, you don't. KFC South Africa came up with the Nacho Cheese Crunch, the perfect way to enjoy that nice cheesy crunch even if you're on the go. It consists of a crunchy chicken fillet dunked in a nacho cheese sauce and topped with a slice of cheese, a couple of Doritos chips, and a little mayo to top it off, all between a sliced bun.
This is a tasty burger.
People were quick to head over to their local KFC as soon as they heard the news, and the response was more than positive. The Doritos chips were said to be an amazing addition that added a serious edge to the nacho cheese crunch, and obviously, a lot of crunch. The combo of sweet chili chips with the chili cheese sauce left people more than satisfied. And the best part? It's super affordable. You would think such a genius burger would be a little more expensive than everything else, but no. If the nacho cheese crunch sounds like something that's been appearing in your dreams, you know where to go.
Let's roll.
Which of these items would you absolutely want to try? Let us know in the comments below. Tap or click for more great videos, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell to join our notification squad.